Peace and blessings, everybody. It's your girl, Wendy Zizzo, here with Kirk the Jerk. Peace to Nappy Red. He's out there grinding, doing the do, and he'll be back with us soon. And we are Awareness Academy 411. Here to give you that 411 on things just going on in the world, give you our 2 cents. And if it applies, let it apply. And if it don't, let it fly. It's all for educational purposes only. So, yeah. Don't hold us accountable for the things that you decide to do with the information that we share. So yeah, what's going on, Kirk?
Ain't not much chilling. Let me get myself back on stage.
Chilling
Hold
like a
on.
villain.
Gotta fix
There
this
he is.
up. Yeah, that's better.
So let's start it off with Red's sound off. Let's get
Sounds
that rolling.
good.
Yeah,
Let's
let's get it
go.
rolling.
How long would it take for you to introduce your child?
Oh, we're gonna go back.
Peace and blessings. Today's topic on Sound Off on Red Dot Production. How long would it take for you to introduce your child to somebody that you recently dating? Sound off on that.
That's a
How
good one,
long
right?
would it take? I would say as long as it becomes like you could tell it's consistent and it's real, I'd say 6 months to a year.
6 months to a year.
Yeah, before you introduce anybody to your kids. Like I definitely my daughter ain't know anything I was doing.
That
She
don't sound bad. Yeah, you could definitely do that. I can see that happening. I will honestly say it all depends though, because the whole thing is you want to make sure your kid has a chemistry with that person. So I think it's kind of important to make sure that y'all have a chemistry together because there's nothing worse than not having a chemistry with with the person that you like.
well, I
Uh,
mean, yeah, chemistry is one thing, but I would say uh knowing that this person is gonna stick around is the more important thing. You know what I
mm-hmm.
mean? Like I don't want to go introducing somebody to my child and then they disappear. Because I don't want my daughter. Well, of course, I have a daughter, so
Well,
I wouldn't have wanted my daughter to see different people. Like, oh, who's this? Oh, that's uncle again, another uncle. You know, Oh,
that's the old school moms back in the days. They used to do that. Everybody, your uncle or cousin, something like that's what a lot of people used to do back in the days. But I
yeah,
guess I guess to me it depends on how many kids you got. If you just got one kid, I think you could be more honest with your one kid versus multiple kids because I think
mm,
I think a lot of times when people have one kid and they don't have multiple, they tend to be more the kid tend to be more adultish, meaning that they tend to have more adult conversations with their kid because it's more one on one between you and them
yeah,
versus
kind of
having
sort
like
of.
three
I
kids.
would say it depends on the age too of the child. Because if
Yeah.
they're little kids, Mm, the older they get, the more they're gonna understand. And at the same time, kids
Yeah,
can be very honest.
that's
So I
true.
don't need my kid, if I'm single now, that means I ain't with the father. So I don't need her going over there talking about, oh, I met mommy's new friend. And
Yeah,
they
that'd
were
be
holding
funny.
hands and they was doing XYZ. You know what I mean? Like, mm-mm.
Well, the
I
optics would be bad because they'd be like, "Oh yeah, mom have so many different friends. I met so mmany of her good friends. They always come over, give hugs and kisses."
Yeah, that's too much. So that's why I say 6 months to a year
That's
before
too
you
long
would
though,
you
because
would
people nowadays get married in that time.
nah.
So it's like,
So what? Exactly. Like the
yeah.
point is to see if this person is gonna be consistent. You do not need to meet my child unless if you dead ass serious and
Hmm.
you putting in the work to show that you gonna be there and that you are willing to be a part of my child's life, not be their
Hmm.
parent, because I ain't asking nobody to be they father. It's more so just
A
be,
friend, adult
yeah,
friend.
being a friend and
Hmm.
knowing how to deal with them and you know always being respectful to me and if there's any issues you report that to me. You don't take it in your own hands. It ain't your kid.
I,
you
I,
know
I, I guess for me, I would put 90 days. I would say 90 days.
90 days.
I give you a
That's
90 days consistent in 3 months. You know why? Because once you have one or two red flags, I'm gone. I'm not gonna let the red flag slide. I'm gonna
mhm.
take this as who you are, and then I'm canceling you.
Well,
Because
most
we
people.
always see some. A lot of stuff that people do. Every people are getting sloppy with being actors nowadays because society is a little bit changing. Everybody got short attention spans. So even if you're an actor, it's hard to be an actor for past 90 days nowadays. So that's why I
Oh
said,
yeah, that's what you say after 90 days. You know what I mean? Like some people can hold on to their character for a minute,
but I'm not
especially,
gonna,
and it
I'm not
depends on
gonna,
how much you're with them too.
but
That's
I'm
the
not
other
gonna wait
part.
6 months to a year because I'll be damned if I wait 6 months to a year and you and my son or you and my daughter or whoever is not compatible. Then I'm gonna be pissed off
I
because I'm gonna
mean,
have to
that
cancel
don't
you.
matter. That's not gonna really matter that much because my child being compatible with somebody that I'm compatible with,
Hmm.
they ain't gonna be the judge of what I'm doing. Like,
Nah,
okay,
that's important. It's
like
important because you gotta, because the whole thing is, it all depends on how that person interacts with kids in general. Because he could be a very good communicator with you, with an
mm,
adult, and then
mm,
when it comes to kids, or he could even be a good communicator with other kids. You see him on the street communicating with kids here and there. Hey, how you doing? Want a lollipop? Very nice, like very respectful. And then for whatever reason, the chemistry with him, your kid and his kid, your kid and him just doesn't line up. For whatever reason, it's just socially awkward.
that
And
can
then
come
you, and
with
then
time,
all it
but like,
takes for your kid to be like, I don't like him, then it's game over. Yeah.
uh, it
I'm not gonna
depends.
have my kid around somebody that my kid don't like. Nah, hell
But
no.
what if your kid is just resentful of you being with anybody other than their father,
You know the
or their
difference. You
mother?
know you it's how you know how you can tell the difference. You know why? Because if a kid say I don't like him, all right, well explain. And they have to really explain it. If they can't explain it,
Yeah,
then we know it's bullshit. But if they can
exactly.
explain and break it down, because sometimes kids can see things we can't see, then I'll be like, oh wow,
Well,
I didn't
that's why I
think of
said
all that.
again, it depends on the age of the child because
Yeah,
if they're little, like below the age of 10, versus over the age of 10, you're
yeah.
dealing with two totally different personalities of a child. Like kids don't really start coming into who they are until they hit like 10, 11. Once
What
they
the
hit like
kid, what
10,
the baby,
11,
what the baby's 1 years old.
one. Mm,
That's a tough one, right? Because it don't
well,
matter when you see it. It
they
don't
wouldn't
matter when they
remember
see
them
them,
anyway. Yeah, but they
huh?
wouldn't remember them anyway at that age.
Hmm.
They're not gonna remember them. So I would say one, you can get away with that, but once they hit like 3 and 4, they
Hmm.
start to remember the person. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like I would say like between like late 2, 3, they start to know, or be familiar
Hmm.
enough with the person to know who they are. But
Yeah.
1, they'll forget. That's more easily forgettable. However, and it's actually a sad phenomenon that goes on that somebody can have a 1-year-old and be single now. You know what I mean? Like, unless if it was like a one night stand thing and bing, bing, boom, it happened, and you're not the type of person that's like, no, I don't do, terminations, whatever. But if
It's
you,
I think more likely just it's just a lot of actors out there. Like you got guys like, yeah, I want to have your baby. I want you to have my baby, and then they
yeah,
get and they all say all the nice stuff. You get pregnant, and then they see another chick they like, and now they
I was
trying to find a
there.
way to get away from you.
I
Yeah.
was there. I mean, no, it wasn't. Well, maybe it was another chick. I don't know, but he definitely did a 180 on me, and I was just like,
Mhm.
"Oh, what's that?" You know what I mean? And then when I called it out, I got gaslit. Like, I'm like, no, I know what I'm seeing. I'm not dumb. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So eventually, it was just like, yeah, this ain't gonna work.
Mhm.
So, but it's still a shame that these people, you know, create a life
Mhm.
and don't try to, I'm not going to say not just have the mental capacity, but don't try to improve themselves,
Yeah.
in order to, stand up to their responsibility. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, it's always an interesting thing. Like, I mean, I've experienced it where this person just chose not to be responsible at all. More so the vindictiveness of it. Like, I
Yeah.
always felt like the dude, and he was always like the female, where I'm the one that don't want no drama and trying to make things work, and he just over there doing uh band B.A.N stuff. So, it's like that was just always interesting. And I actually was thinking about this the other day. I was like, yo, this person really just was so like stuck, not just stuck, but adamant
Mhm.
about being a B.A.N that he carried it for years. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow, you really held that down. I hope you're proud of yourself. But at the same time, I look at the state of his life and
Mhm.
how he carries himself, and I'm just like, yeah, karma definitely got you. Karma
Yeah.
done got you good, bro. Got you good.
Yeah, that's crazy though.
I mean, I know I'm
Now,
feeling.
yeah, I was watching. It's funny too because I was watching Pop the Balloon and that guy what's his name, Mozzie, the one with all the jewelry.
Oh,
Um,
the dude that was OD flashy talking about, yeah, I got a private jet,
I
and
want to
uh,
give him a word of advice. If he ever come across this podcast, or if anybody know him, you could send this to him. You don't need. First of all, you OD got way too much jewelry, man. You could damn near buy a house with that shit if it's real. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to wear all that jewelry around your neck unless that's what you like. I hope you wear all that jewelry because you like it for you and not because you're trying to press others. Because it doesn't. Because at some point it looks too gaudy and looks too stupid. Like, and it bothers me because black people are always doing that. And when you look at rich people, they don't do that shit. Even Jay-Z, perfect example. He got a little thin ass chain on he wear. Why? Because once you got so much money, you don't need to show your worth, show your money. I mean, show how much money you got on your neck. Because a lot of people think they have to wear flashy stuff to have value, but you the true you have value while having this items on you and stuff. And it's sad that we got to get past that. Try to buy the most expensive car and it's sad because when black people buy a Mercedes, they could barely afford it. They probably live with their parents. They probably don't have,
it's
the
not just
house
black
in it.
people that do that. Shoot, white people be having debt up to their eyeballs,
They
and
they do, but I give white people a little bit more credit because a lot of white people that I actually personally seen, they can afford 5 of those shits. So they instead of
that's
them get the
them.
most expensive
There's some
Mercedes,
that
they got
can't,
they got the stock version or some shit like that.
bro.
But when a black person, when we do it, like when a
No,
lot of times when a white person buy it, they could afford a couple of them. When a black person buy it, that's all they can afford, and they
refer
barely can afford
specifically
it.
to people that are of color in the lower tax brackets that are either below middle class and below, like the ones that
Yeah.
live in NYCHA and got a Mercedes parked in the parking lot. Like those are the
Go
ones
to
that,
NYCHA building right now. You'll see a few of
yeah,
them. You'll see a
that, that
Phantom in there
that's
too.
the ones that you're like, why? You know what I mean? Like, why? Like I wouldn't spend that money on a car and I'm still living in that type of building. Like I need to
Mhm.
move out. Like the amount that you spending on that note, you could be paying rent in a nice house.
Yeah.
Like you don't even have to buy the house. You could just rent the house, and
But
just
it's just a stunt though. That's why they get the car because here's the thing. That's like you roll up on me right now, like on some nigga shit, right? And you driving a Maybach. I'm not even gonna ask you what kind of house you got. You know why? Because I'm like, she riding a Maybach, so she gotta own a big ass house. That's the mindset. They
Mhm.
know that. They see every nigga driving Maybach. The next thing you know, you see him driving a Bentley. He was driving a Maybach. He was driving a Bentley. He got all these cars. You know damn well he gotta have a garage to go with those cars.
Oh, you would hope
Trying to
so.
find out how the nigga live with his mom's in a basement.
That's terrible. Now, I knew this dude that he had he had a really good job and he had a house. He Every time I seen him, he never had a car that was less than 90,000. Like he
Mm,
always had some different ish. He'd be pulling up in Maybachs and
mhm,
Audi, like just some just
mhm.
nice cars. So there are some
Yeah.
out there, but I still wondered to him, like, why are you putting all this money in the cars? Like you could retire
Mhm,
yourself with this money. You know what I mean? Like if you
mhm.
put this into the right investments,
For
what I
any
mean?
for
Like
a- for
cars are
anybody
not
thinking rich,
investable. Let's just put that out there for people.
mhm,
Unless if it's a Ferrari, because that's the only car that holds its no Mustang. Mustang
mhm,
is the only car that holds its value. Unless if it's something that is a collector's item, cars are not a good investment to be
mhm,
spending thousands of dollars on a car note every month on. You know what I mean? Unless if you got, you making 10, $20,000 a month, that's different. But if you
mhm.
making $3,000 to $5,000 a month
You
and
should
you
do
paying
that.
more than, you know, $500-600 for a note. Like,
Mhm.
why are you investing so much of your money into a depreciating asset? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it. I mean, although people say, okay, it loses its value, once you pull it off. And I've even had the talk with, my coworker with my car, and he was like, oh, why don't you just go get another one? I'm like, why? Mine is paid off. So why go
Mhm.
get another car? And they're like, oh, well, it lost value. It starts.
Yep. It goes. It
It
starts and goes.
start. It gets me
Who
from
cares
A.
about value if you're not trying to sell
Yeah,
it?
I don't care
Like,
about the value of the car because I'm not trying to sell it. I just need it to work. You know what I mean? Like if I wanted to get another car, I could, but I don't want to.
mhm.
It's like
Who wants a
this one
car note,
works
right?
just fine. Yeah, I don't want a car note if I can avoid it. So it's
Mhm.
like once you have it, okay. Now again, if you're the type of person that you're doing itemized tax deductions and you over here,
Mhm.
calculating the value of your assets and the car is going to be one of them, then that's different. But if you're just a regular person that got a job and you don't need a flashy car, just get you something that's a get up and go, pay it off, and you're chilling with a car for 5 to 10 years, depending on how well
Mhm.
you take care of it. You know what I mean? Keep up on your maintenance.
Yep.
Pay
Maintenance
attention to
is
your
number
car.
one. Maintenance is number one. Like for me, I don't mind telling people, you know what type of car? Because people think I'm driving something flashy. No, I'm driving a
Malibu.
2015 Chevy Malibu, and I love my baby. And
My
I got
Malibu.
189,000 miles in it. And guess what? I'm my own mechanic. I never brought it to a shop to get fixed. All I did was get oil changes. That's it. That's the only time the mechanics touch it. Oil changes, and I do my own brakes. But once in a blue moon, I get lazy and I don't want to do it, especially if it's wintertime. I'll let a mechanic do it. But that's all I ever had done on my car. I did all my oil changes, any mechanic work that needs to be done. But nevertheless, I didn't have to really spend too much money in maintenance. All I have to do is get oil changes. People
Yeah.
don't realize it's so simple as just getting basic oil changes. Anytime you get over that 3,000 or 7,000 mark, depending on what kind of oil you got. Even though if you have synthetic, they say you could go 7,000 miles. I recommend always doing 3,000 miles to play it safe.
Agreed.
3,000 miles or 3 months, whatever come first. If it's 3 months went by, change your shit. Don't wait for the mileage because the
Synthetic
oil
got me
is sitting in your
pushing
car
it
for
to
3 months.
4 now. I push
Huh?
it. I said with the synthetic, I might push it to 4 months
A
though.
lot of people do. A lot of people. I mean, you could
I
get
push
4
it
months.
to
You
four
could get
months.
4 or 5.
But it also depends on your driving. If you're driving it a lot, type of thing. But like for me, I'm chilling. I'm okay. Like, is there a nice expensive car that I want? Yeah, but I don't
Mhm.
need it.
Yeah, yeah.
I
One,
don't. I don't.
who
I
doesn't want a
don't
nice
need it.
expensive car with all the bells and whistles? But
Yeah,
the
yeah,
question is, do you need it? Like, it does it fit your life at this moment? No. I got
yeah.
a lot of
Like
other shit
I'd
going on. Why
rather
people
put.
worry about that shit?
Like, could I afford one? Yeah, but do I
Nah,
do I need it? No.
yeah,
I don't I
yeah.
don't I don't
Fuck, I want
need it
that shit
right
for.
now. Like, I
Mhm,
rather, put investments towards other things right now.
mhm,
I'll get one later down the line. Like, how people be like 50, 60 years old and they riding around they nice cars. Like, yeah.
mhm. Yeah, let me get a little older, man, and then maybe I'll go and mess some money up. But right now, at this age, at 44, going to 45, not interested.
Like my uncle, I think he's 78, 79, and he
Mhm.
just went and bought himself a new car. And I was like, well, what was wrong with the other one? He's like, oh, it was old. I said, how old was it? He's like, oh, it's 3 years old. It's old. I'm like, that ain't old. But
Damn.
you know what? You're older. Do you? Do you?
That's what they do. Was it 3 years? Some warranties come 3 years, 36,000 miles. That's because they expect the shit to
And he
explode.
owned his car. Like, he
Wow.
owned his car outright, and then because he paid it off, and then he went and
Mhm.
got another car. And I was like, you know what? Live your life, man. You in your late 70s, about to be 80, get you another car. So
Like
what?
Steve Harvey said, spend all your money before you die.
Facts. You know what I mean?
Spend all
So
your
for
money.
me,
Bump that.
like I said, I'd rather put my money towards other things, like spending a whole bunch of money on a nice car.
Mhm.
I'd rather spend my money on a nice flight,
Yeah.
on a nice trip, or some nice self-love thing, get my
Mhm.
monthly massages or every other week massage, whatever, like
That's it.
invest
Yeah.
that money into this vehicle.
Mhm.
This vehicle needs all the good stuff.
Hell yeah.
And
Hell yeah. Yeah.
people don't realize, like, And just to shift gears a little bit, what you put on your body should not be as expensive. I mean, should not be more expensive than what you put in your body.
Yeah, that's
You know
true.
what I mean? Like if you're spending, hundreds and thousands of dollars on the things that you're putting on your body, the clothes, what women is the makeup and the chemicals and all these perfumes and colognes and all that. But then when it comes time to eat, you going to McDonald's, you going getting you fast food, or you just eating like crap because you just eating to enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
That's gonna catch up with you one day. It will.
Good old Mickey D's. Bleh. No, I'm joking.
Nah, I can't mess with you. Don't joke. We know it's true. Well, I'm not messing with no McNasty.
Now, speaking of fast food, why the hell White Castles have the nerve to call a milkshake when you know damn well that shit is ice cream because you can't even, get this milkshake out with a straw. Like it don't even make no damn sense.
I haven't had a milkshake in over 15 years.
Wow.
Because I can't have milk. So the only milkshake I would be a non-dairy ice cream type of milkshake.
No, I'm
and
joking.
even those, he's stupid. And even those, I haven't found. Like I guess I'll have to make it myself. I'll get my dairy-free ice cream and make my dairy-free milk.
They got ones in I don't know about Whole Foods, but I know they got one.
Chocolate swirl in it.
Where I went? It was a Stop and Shop. Stop and Shop got one. They got mad brands. I think like $6, but they like $7.
Oh no, Ben and Jerry's
small
got
ass
the best. Nah, Ben and Jerry's got the best non-dairy.
Yeah, I had Ben and Jerry's before.
Yeah.
I had the vanilla coconut. I was mad that they threw coconut in there. I'm like, who the dummy? I didn't even look at the label. I just thought it was vanilla.
I love coconut.
And it had coconut in it. I'm like, ugh.
Nah, I love me some coconut. Actually, I gotta go Google. Not today, but probably tomorrow. I need to make my own coconut cream. So there's certain stuff that I be cooking, and I'm like, this that would call for heavy cream. I can use coconut cream. And making it myself, I know how old it is.
Yeah, that makes sense. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, for people that are out there trying to, eat more healthier or make more healthier decisions, it took me years to get to where I'm at. You know what I mean? And it started with me just making a little change here. Stop eating that there. Like I used to tear up some honey buns from the deli, right? And this was the last time I had one of those was like 2015.
Well, Hostess or Drake's?
Hostess.
Hostess, yeah.
Yeah, Hostess. So I remember my mom used to buy the boxes of them from Costco. No, not from Costco, from the supermarket. So I had to stop eating them because I noticed one day I ate one and I had a headache afterwards. I was like, what the hell is that? I didn't correlate it. Then the next time I had one, I got another headache. I'm like, wait a minute. Is this one thing doing that? And once I just started to pay attention to my body and the side effects that I was having with foods that I would eat, I was like, okay, I guess I can't eat that no more. Even cheese. Oh my God, my favorite was always a Philly cheesesteak. And that's when I noticed that cheese was making my face break out.
Get the Gouda cheese. The Gouda cheese might work.
Nah, it's still dairy. It's still dairy.
Some cheeses are healthy, right?
Goat.
Gouda.
No, goat. Goat milk.
Gouda cheese.
Anything that would be feta. So feta would probably be best because it's made with goat milk. Which I had in salads, but I can, like I said, I'm only speaking for myself. Other people out there, I'm just letting you see like what I do. If you want that in your life, then you make those steps. But all change comes with taking little baby steps. Don't try to force yourself into okay, now I'm going to just go straight dieting and just change everything. It's not going to last because literally the stuff that you've been doing or eating rather is in your cells. So when you stop eating certain things, over time, your brain, like your cells, start to send signals to your brain like we want more of this. We
Mhm.
want more of this. So, you think
Yeah,
that
it's
you
pretty much your microorganisms, your stomach, your
yeah,
gut.
like your
Yeah.
body, your cells have been drenched in this chemical, whatever that thing is that you're
Mhm.
eating, right? And if you try to go cold turkey within the first 2-3 weeks, you might start getting these like bad cravings for like, oh, I gotta have it. That's because your cells are sending the signal to your brain saying,
Mhm.
we want this now. So you'll get those really intense. And the same thing when people are trying to quit like anything from cigarettes to alcohol, all that's like your cells recognize that. So once you
Mhm.
stop, you'll start to get these cravings for it as time goes by because your cells are the ones that's doing that.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how you wind up kind of fighting with yourself, but if you make those small little changes, like let's say you do a lot of something, start slowing down.
Mhm.
If you drink or smoke cigarettes, whatever it is, every single day, multiple times a day, cut it down to once a day. Then cut
Yep.
it down to 6 days, then 5 days, just slowly wean yourself off of it. And that's a good way to even with eating healthy, you know,
Mhm.
slowly like okay, instead of getting fried chicken, get grilled chicken. You
Instead of
know,
getting fried chicken, tell them to fry the chicken in something else.
tell them to air fry it.
Air fryer, I love air fryer. That's why I
Yeah,
air fry a lot of
air
stuff.
fry it. Don't or if you're gonna have fried, make sure that it's in a more natural oil, like um what do you
Out of
call it?
avocado
Beef
oil.
tallow, avocado oil. You want to stay away from canola
You
and
said beef
vegetable
tallow? What is it called again?
beef tallow.
What the hell is beef tallow? Ain't that meat?
Yeah, so before they introduced seed oils,
Yeah.
everybody used to cook with either pork fat or beef fat. So it was lard, right? This is what our grandmothers cooked in. That's why they lived real long. People was living longer. Um, Back in I think it was the late 60s, early 70s is when they introduced Crisco. And once they introduced Crisco, all of a sudden, over the years, you see a rise from like the early 70s to now of Alzheimer's, dementia, diabetes,
Mhm.
cancer. Like you'll see this slow just incline of these things, just all these ailments coming out of nowhere. And a lot of it is because of the food that we're eating and the different GMO foods and pesticides and you know it's so much, but beef tallow is basically the beef fat. So if you go to a butcher and they cutting you the meat whatever and you get the fat off of it, the white part, that gets boiled down and there's a whole process. I don't know how to do it off the top of my head,
Yeah. Yeah.
so don't ask me, but you use the beef tallow to cook with, so
Mhm.
it's a lot healthier. Like there are some fast food places that actually cook with beef tallow.
Mhm.
Buffalo Wild Wings uses it. Popeyes uses it. But the only reason me personally, why I still wouldn't eat Popeyes is because the batter that they're
So
using.
fucking hard.
No, the batter has chemicals in it. Like it has
Mm.
like yellow 5 and blue 7 and shit. Like niacin and all these different ingredients that my body's not going to be happy with is in the batter. That's why it's that orangey color.
Yeah, just remember, businesses are focused on imagery. They focus on your image of the food. They focus on your smell of the food. They focus on the look of the food and the taste of the food. So
Mhm.
basically, they play with your senses. So that's why they put all those chemicals in it because they want the chicken to have a certain color so it could be more appealing to the
Mhm.
eye. Because the more appealing to the eye, have a better chances for it to taste good, even if it wasn't going to taste good. But because it looks good, it plays a role in your taste buds, and a lot of people don't correlate the two, your eyes and your mouth. I mean, and you chewing at the
They
same
sleep.
time.
They don't
Yeah.
know. They sleeping because they're just like, ooh, this dream. I want to eat that dream versus being awake and being
Mhm.
aware of wait, there's something fishy about that. Like
Mhm.
I ain't never had no Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A is amazing.
It's You know why it's amazing? Because they put chemicals in it that stimulate parts of your brain to believe that it's
You
amazing.
just
Like,
gotta pray. Don't worry, because they
addicted to it.
pray. They pray over the food. They God
Nah,
fearing.
man.
Chick-fil-A is God fearing. That's why they don't
People,
open
there's
on
no
Sundays.
reason that people is in line, waiting online and getting into fights
It's crack,
over
son.
Chick-fil-A. It's
That shit is
literal
crack.
crack. Like, not necessarily the drug itself, but it has so much
Or
chemicals that
maybe
it's
it's the drug
having.
itself. Never
Well,
know.
yeah, it is a drug itself. There's a whole bunch of addictive stuff in it that's making your brain light up. Like, yeah, I need more of that. Give me that.
Yeah.
Give me that. You know.
Chick-fil-A's, I ain't gonna lie. I was like, when I first had it, I'm like, yo, this shit tastes too good. Like, what the fuck they put in
That's
it?
terrible. Terrible.
Oh shit, they put gasoline in it. Oh yeah, let me get some more of that shit. But yeah, it's not you know what kills me too, right? When you
Mhm.
look at a lot of these fast food restaurants, right? They always supposedly have a healthy choice up there. Where you got places like McDonald's that won an award for their salad, but at the end of the day, they give you GMO meat.
GMO meat and the salad be having like film covering on the lettuce to keep it preserved. Like,
Oh shit.
you just
Don't
can't
get
get
me
away from
started.
this stuff,
Uh-oh.
man. And what's crazy, or more so sad, is that our government allows these things to happen when in other countries, no.
Mhm.
I'll be honest, when I go to other countries, I'll have McDonald's over there. I'm
Mm.
definitely gonna hit up a McDonald's in when I go back to Egypt. If I can, I'm gonna hit up their McDonald's. They probably using halal meat. They're using
Shit.
turmeric and a whole bunch of other spices, in their food. Like the Big Mac is probably hitting out there,
Mhm.
so I might try that next time I'm
They're
out.
using donkeys
But our
blood over
government
there.
really just this is a corporation, so they have to, keep their citizens in check with what they want to happen with their system
Mhm.
that's working perfectly. Like, oh, I hope the TSA members get they money sooner than later, because
Mhm.
now somebody that could have been signed the executive order to get them paid just now finally did it. It's like
Mhm.
you're gonna start a fire and then go put it out, say, look, I did it.
They try to blame it on the Democrats, but the Democrats had a standalone bill, and Republicans voted against it.
It's just
This is, you know what? I get
politics
tired of the pity
wrapped up
pat.
in this
I
stuff.
get tired of this whole back and forth thing. I'll tell you one thing. If God is my witness, if the Democrats do not get it together when they get back in power, because they will get back in power, they landsliding everywhere. They better do. I swear, everybody need to think of every creative thing that they should do to safeguard federal employees, because there's no way Congress or the Senate, the House and Senate, should be getting compensated when there's a government shutdown. If we not getting paid, you shouldn't get paid. Simple as that. It shouldn't be no, oh, they get paid still. No, fuck that. Because that shit is wrong. It's hurting people's livelihood. And then
Not
you know
even
what killed me
just
the
not
most?
hurting livelihood. Like, this is a chain effect. Like, it's messing with their livelihood, and now it's messing with everybody else, because these people are like, you know what? I'm not even coming into work this time.
But you know what
All
killed
out.
me? When Elon Musk came with the chainsaw talking about he gonna cut jobs and stuff like that, and everybody, yeah, we it's too many government employees. You realize most government jobs is to service the American people, stupids out there. Now you feel it. You feel it now. You have long line here. Social Security is long out of the line. You have to wait here, wait here. Everything is appointment only. Before it wasn't like that, but now it's like that because it's not too many federal employees that fill these positions. And you didn't realize that most federal jobs, because when y'all must talk about cutting jobs, y'all must talk about, oh yeah, cut FBI or cut these cops or cut people in the Pentagon. No, they're cutting the jobs that service you. They cut the people that service you. When you wait on the phone a long time to speak to customer service rep for Social Security, that's because jobs has been cut. So the same people that you was promote, yeah, he need to cut these federal employees, get rid of them. Guess what? Those are people that service you, stupid. You know, a lot of people never thought they service you when you need some help, and when you call the federal government. Look at most federal government jobs; they're about service. Then you got the military, then you got Pentagon and all that stuff. But most jobs, federal jobs, are service. Postal workers, service. TSA workers, service. Social Security office, service. IRS, when you need to call IRS because you need to ask questions, you can't get nobody because you're waiting fucking 100 years, it's service.
Yeah.
Everything is about service. They're servicing you. So yeah, your tax dollars go for them to service you, to help you with whatever issues you got.
The
But you
other
can't
thing,
get in contact with them.
the other thing I'm curious about is, all these DEI jobs that got taken from people. Where are the people that, was being hindered from having
Mhm.
jobs because of
Mhm.
DEI? Where
Mhm.
are they? Like, did they take all these jobs back? Like all these vacant spaces? I don't think
And
so.
you know what killed me the most about it is that uneducated, and I will say this, uneducated Black people didn't understand how powerful DEI was for Black people. They didn't understand the concept of it. They went by assumptions, or they go by because supposedly, as far as the whole DEI structure, the system, we only benefit 7% of the whole structure. No, but that whole 7% help 80% of us, because there's many jobs that wouldn't even hire niggas like us. The only reason why we got these jobs is because the government had to do something, because white folks wasn't trying to give Black people jobs, and we was qualified. It wasn't saying that we wasn't qualified for the position. It was saying that we have credentials too, we have education too, we got experience too. Why not take a look outside your race and hire somebody that look like me?
I mean, just like whenever I'm filling out some type of application and it asks for race, I
Yeah.
write human. Like
Yeah.
I always write human, because if we can all see each other as human race, and this color thing and different attributes thing, I mean, I feel like a total flower child when I speak like
Nah,
that.
in a perfect world, that makes all the sense in the world, and that'd be
It would,
perfect
yeah.
if that could
It would
happen.
make total sense. But I'm like a
But
new age hippie and all, so I'm like, peace and love, man. Peace and love. And I'm not
yeah,
even doing it this way. I'm doing it the comedic way. Peace
yeah.
and love, man. Peace and love,
That's
man.
all I want, and you know that's all I want. That's why I seen this group online. It was like white folks, Black folks, Hispanic folks, men coming together in brotherhood to help each other out. I thought that was cool,
That's
because at
dope.
the end of the day, these people are playing identity politics on us, yo. When at the end of the day, you got whites, Blacks, Hispanics,
It's tools.
everybody going for each other's neck,
It's the
or
tool.
disabled people, or immigrants. When the real people is elites, they the ones that keep us divided. They sitting there and they billion and $100 million home,
They're doing all
watching
this.
TV, laughing, hysterical, having a great time playing golf, having no care in the world, while we all here struggling and fighting each other for scraps.
Over
When they
tools.
just cutting all the programs over and over, they cut all these damn programs, and that helps everybody. And then you got people that make a few extra dollars than somebody else. Oh, then they should get off their lazy ass and work. No, these jobs. How about you focus on these big corporations not giving people livable wages? Focus
Well,
on these corporations not giving people money to be able to buy shit.
part of from my perspective,
Mhm.
what I'm seeing of all this happening is to
Yeah.
purposely stress people out. Because
Yeah.
as long as you purposely stress people out, and you're raising people's cortisol levels, which is going to affect their immune system, which is now going to keep them sick, which is going to put them in the hospital, which is going to cause more money is going to be spent. It's like this continuous cycle. So I'm not going to say not to be upset about the things that are happening or be appalled by them. However, when you let it get you to a point where you want to fight somebody over it, you are stressed out now. And now they are getting exactly what they wanted to achieve by doing these things. Not just to disrupt the economy, not just to disrupt the job market, but to disrupt your peace. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as you allow anybody, this can be
Yeah.
the government, this can be work related, this can be family, this could be friends, this could be relationships. As long as you let people stress you out, that is you now giving away your power, because your
Yeah.
power is your mind. That's what your real power is. And these people understand that your mind is the true power. So therefore, they're going to do things in order to control you. And as long as you keep giving them your attention, every little thing that happens, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Oh my God, this is happening. This is terrible. Da-da-da. They just won. But if you just look at it like, whatever, they're gonna do it, and just focus on the things that make you happy, the things that help to relax you.
Shit, to
Go
make me
out.
happy is cheap gas prices. Did anybody see these gas
Oh
prices out
man,
here in Jersey?
see, you doing it
Man, I used
again.
to spend $20. I used to spend $20 and I could go to work for almost 3 days back and forth to New York. Now $20. It seems like they put water in the gas tank now because it seems like that $20 is gone in one trip there and back. Like it's done.
I try
So
as soon as it goes down to like a quarter tank, like not a quarter tank, but once a quarter tank is gone, from a full, I go back and fill it right up. Before
yeah,
I just wait till it gets to half and I refill it. But now when it gets to that first quarter, I'm filling it right back up again. Because now
mhm,
that's gonna keep me, from spending so much more at a time, so it
yeah,
doesn't hurt as much when it's only $15,
yeah,
versus 30, 40, 50, 60, $70 a pop,
mhm,
and for me, Sandy already traumatized me. So I'm never with less of a half a tank, which again, that was an example of something that stressed me the hell out. I remember
mhm.
standing on them lines waiting
Oh,
to
that
get
was fun. That
gas.
was
That was
hilarious.
terrible,
I went to
but
Connecticut one time. I went all the way to Stamford, Connecticut. When one of my coworkers that live in Connecticut said, "Yo, Kurt, they got gas out here. Let the fellas know." We all drove 30 minutes because it's only 30 minutes. And if you're in the Bronx already, it's only like 30-minute ride to
oh yeah,
Connecticut.
that's right there.
So
Yeah.
we drove to Connecticut, Stamford, just to get some gas. And when we got there, I got my gas, and then the guy after me got gas, and then that was it. Like the guy said, "Oh, the pump is closed. That's it. We don't got no more gas."
Wow.
Mind you, it was a gas truck there loading up while everybody getting gas, and the gas truck left.
It was
Shit was
gone.
out of gas. Yeah.
Gone. Well, it's like some of the tanks in the ground are like 1,000 gallons or
Yeah.
three
Oh, they're more
thousand
than
gallon
1,000. They gotta be
tanks.
more than
Some
1,000, right?
it depends. It
Yeah.
depends on the size of the gas station. Like some of the tanks are 5,000 gallons, some are
Wow.
10,000 gallon. Actually, no, I don't think it can go over 5 or 6,000.
5 or 6,000?
Yeah, I think that's
And
the
that's per
cutoff.
tank, right? That's per tank
Per
though.
tank. Is it? It might even
Oh.
be 3,000. And if anybody that knows me, that knows what I do, don't quote me or don't trying to hold me because I don't remember everything off the top of my head. I haven't had to deal with that in a little minute. But yeah, so
Mhm,
again, these things are designed to stress you out. And as long as
mhm,
you let it win, you are giving away your power. So just because we are Awareness Academy 411 and we're here to
mhm,
give you the solutions to these problems, what are some of the things that you could do to get your power back? So I'm going to give
mhm.
you a few tools that you could use
Get
to
get
get your
get get
power
an
back.
AR-15 and go to your local politician and to make some demands, and then you can get some of your power back. I'm just
Uh,
joking.
uh, uh,
People, this is a joke. It's a
that's a
joke.
joke. That's a
Do
joke.
not try to say Kurt the Jerk said, "Go get an AR-15 and go to a politician."
He said it
It's
again.
all jokes. Do not chop this video up. Do not edit it and say Kurt the Jerk is making crazy statements, and then the next thing you
No,
know, I
no,
put
no,
the
no. Let me go
video.
back to the helpful,
Uh,
safe, and self-contained tools that will help you and not hurt nobody else. So
yes.
one tool that you can use, and this is very cliche when I say this,
Mhm,
meditation.
mhm,
Meditate, meditate, meditate. You can visit my website manifesthappinessnow.com and you
mhm,
scroll, find videos, and there's some meditation videos on my site. And you just want to do simple things like focus on your breath, like count how many seconds it takes for you to take in a deep breath and hold
mhm,
it for 2 seconds and then
mhm,
slowly let it out and count how long it takes for you to exhale and just keep doing that for a few minutes a day. That's
mhm,
one level of it. Another one would be paying attention to, specific sound or something around you and just focus solely on that thing, nothing else. Because the whole purpose of meditation is to get your mind off of everything and only put
mhm,
it into the present moment. So that's another one. That's one tool. Another tool that you can use, and I actually wrote a book about it, which
mhm,
is too far away from me right now, but it's The Secret Power of Journaling, because journaling is a great tool for you to use to you can use it for manifestation, practicing, your manifestation, because you're manifesting anyway, but it's more so
mhm.
manifesting what you actually want.
Yeah.
Practicing gratitude. Practicing gratitude is such an I don't know if it's cliche to say, but
Mhm,
it's such a powerful thing to do. Like if you just spent a few minutes a day, multiple times a day, just
Mhm.
focusing on the things that make you grateful, right? And while you're focusing on it, just feel good in that moment. And if you continuously keep doing that, you're going to start noticing more things to be grateful. Now you're going to also um invoke the law of attraction, which is just a natural law, just like gravity. If I let this go and drop it, it's going to fall. That's gravity. The law of attraction states is what you put out is what you get back. So if you're putting out the constant signal of gratitude, the universe will be
Mhm.
like, oh, let's give you more of that. So
Mhm.
now you're going to start seeing and coming into synchronicity with more and more things that keep you grateful. And that works the same way when you're feeling negative. Do you know how when people say when it rains, it pours? You
Mhm.
know, the if it gets bad and it always gets worse, that's because as long as you are focused on the things that make you feel bad, the universe is like, oh, we'll give you more of that, because the universe is
Mhm.
completely neutral, or God, whatever you want to call it, is
Mhm.
completely neutral. So it's like whatever you're putting out is what you're going to get more back of. So again, if you're using journaling as a way to practice gratitude, write down the things you're grateful for
Mhm.
over and over and over and over. Do it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, right? Another tool is the Posy balls. And
Mhm.
the Posy balls are different affirmations on each side of the balls. And
Yeah.
when you roll them and you get these messages, in that moment, if you just sit and think about the message that you're getting, it's like I like to say they're like divine messages, because there'll be days that I'll roll and what it gives me is actually hitting that button of, yeah, I needed to hear that. So I'm just
Yeah.
going to do a quick roll just to give people an example of what I'm talking about. So you got, you are appreciated. I don't know if you have to see
Mhm.
that. And trust, you are exactly where you're supposed to be.
Mhm.
No lie, when I'm stressing about something and I get that one, the trust, you are exactly where you're supposed to be, it just grounds me, because I'm like, I am where I'm supposed to be. Because if I wasn't supposed to be here, then I wouldn't be here. But I
Mhm.
have also trained my mindset over the years. So it's a little easier for me to take that in, because this is literally one of my affirmations. Let me do one more quick roll. Hold up. I am worthy. That's on
Mhm.
the abundance ball. And again, you are appreciated.
Yeah.
So even just now, okay, you are appreciated. And I'm like, you know what? I'm appreciated. I'm appreciated by my daughter. I'm appreciated by my friends. I'm
Mhm.
appreciated by myself. You know, I'm appreciated by the person that I went to the store today and bought something, and now they just made a sale. Like
Mhm.
it was a big sale at my job. They appreciated me supporting their business. Like it doesn't even have to be, something so personal like family, or because these people get on your nerves. But
Mhm.
my point is as long as you're doing something for a few minutes a day that gets your mind out of the gutter, and
Mhm.
I'm not just meaning the gutter in a perverted way, but I mean out of the gutter in terms of just all the bad news, that low
Mhm.
vibrational, make you want to hurt somebody type of thoughts. Stay away from that, because again, you're going to invoke the law of attraction, which is happening all the time. And as
Mhm.
long as you keep focusing on those things you don't like, what are you going to keep seeing? More and more of that. Because it's like, oh, you're upset. Let me give you something else to be upset. I'm going to I know I'm talking people's head off, but I want to give a
Mhm.
quick
No.
story real quick. So around the time I started really learning about how the law of attraction works, I started to
Mhm.
become aware and watching different things happening around me. And I remember one day I was just really upset about something, like pissed, mad.
Mhm.
And I was driving to school. This was like maybe 10 years ago. I'm driving to school and I remember being mad the whole ride, right?
Mhm.
I get to class, and where the campus was, it was street parking and it was metered parking, right? And usually I'm on top of it. Like I have an alarm set. I'm always knowing that, okay, I got to go put more money in the meter. This day, because I was so pissed off, somehow I lost track of time. I got there 5 minutes after ticket. You know what I mean? And that just made me even more madder. Mind you, I went there all the time. I was always in a good mood. The day was
Mhm.
going good. Like I would see these awesome synchronicities. Like one time I was in this amazing mood and I seen a synchronicity. This car had my initials and birth year in the license plate. And then when I pulled up next to the car, the girl was holding a dog that looked just like mine. I'm like, it's a crazy synchronicity.
That's
You know what I
hot.
mean?
That's
To
funny.
see the license plate with my initials on it and my birth year, and then to see a girl holding a dog that looked like mine.
Mhm.
You can't get no better than that, in terms of
Yeah.
synchronicity. So when the day was when I, like I said, I was in a bad mood, universe
Mhm.
like, oh, bad mood, let me give you more of that ticket. You know, once I
Yeah.
got the ticket, that's when it dawned on me, wait, how did
Mhm.
I create this? Oh, I was pissed all day. So then I
Yeah.
had to spend the whole ride home readjusting my mindset. And I say all this to say that you will be surprised how powerful you actually are. Like,
Yeah.
people, you are so powerful. Your mind is literally a creator. Like,
Mhm.
you are the creator itself, creating all the time. And whether you know it or not, you are creating your experiences in your life. Even if you
Mhm.
don't like it, you're still
Yeah.
creating that on some level. So instead of me continuously talking people's head off, what you think about that, Kurt?
Nah, it's important. You always have to find methods that help you bring peace in your life. And you're right, don't stress about every single thing. Especially things you can't control. If you can't control it, don't stress about it. Try to be alert about it, try to be aware of it, but try to focus on things that you could continue, live. Like, for example, what's happening right now in this government, a lot of this stuff is out of your control. So you keep
All of
yourself
it is out
aware.
of your control.
Yeah, and
All of
then when the Democrats get back in power, you put your foot on their neck to do the right thing. That's all. Until then, no power, no power, no power.
Yeah, or if we're gonna say you have power, it's when the midterms come up, or when it's
Yeah,
time to vote,
yeah, that's
or
true.
to go and create some type of rallying, or
Yeah,
to maybe create something that gets multiple people on board with you. If you're really trying to do something about that, but
and
most
anybody that said voting is not important, then you got to understand why they try to create all these laws to stop people from voting. If it wasn't that important, they won't do all this. It would be a waste of time. And remind you, only like 20% of America votes anyway.
I
Except
would
for this
say,
last presidential election, like damn near everybody voted.
so.
Everybody that could vote
Minus
voted.
minus the presidential election,
Hmm.
the other elections are the ones that we have a lot more power than people think.
Yeah,
From
for sure.
senators to congressmen to um what are the other ones? Like
Assemblyman, you got aldermen,
assemblymen.
assemblymen. Those are people that you want to vote for because they directly in your community, and a lot of times they live in your community. I think there's a requirement to live in your community, have a residency community, and those are people you need to knock on their doors when things ain't working. Like you have a pothole, I'm gonna go, yo, man, I need this pothole fixed. Or if you have a sign that you
Mhm.
want to change, or those people you deal with, like your mayor as well. You deal with people like that because that's a local level that affects you directly. Um, Right now, when I look at Mayor Madani, I'm kind of
Ron
disappointed.
McDonald.
I'm extremely. I understand he's trying to be fiscally conservative and trying to fix the budget, but I'm extremely disappointed because, in my opinion, it looks as though he lost. He forgot about the working class people, you know, and then he didn't realize that working class people also are
Well, you
homeowners
do know
too.
what happens if he doesn't balance the budget, right?
That's true.
It's the bye-bye. Like, by law,
But
he
why it seems
has
like,
to do
but
this.
why it seems as though he has to balance it, but the other people, Eric Adams, let that sucker go in a negative. Why he can't just let it go in a negative and give everybody what they want?
He already
Somebody's
completed
spending.
his term by the time it was to where it is now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But if he came into it like that, that's a different story. But the
yeah,
fact that he has 1 year starting out as mayor to get the balanced budget, to balance the budget, or
yeah.
else he's not going to be mayor anymore. So
Well, he
he
want to be mayor in the next term.
that
Yeah,
part, however, he's definitely I'm not going to say he bit off more than he can chew, but I think that there's so many moving parts
And he
with
didn't know
New York
about it.
City,
Yeah.
and either he didn't know, or it's I'm not going to say he overpromised, because he did do a lot of stuff in his first week that
Mhm.
I didn't see no mayor accomplish in years. You
Yeah,
know what
that's
I
true.
mean? So, I feel like, just like with the presidency, there's but so much that you can do without somebody getting in the way to push back on you.
Besides this administration, it seems like he has infinite amounts of power.
Yeah,
he literally did any and everything he wants to do, and I rarely ever I see a little bit of pushback.
none.
I see them trying to push. I see people like this,
I see them guys
but
going,
he not moving. Yeah. Mhm.
that's all I see. They talk. Oh, they're discussing impeachment.
Discussing
Oh,
it,
he
yo.
did this.
If it,
This was illegal that he did this.
I
That's
can't
all-
wait to see what the articles of impeachment gonna look like. They're gonna be like, yo, this gonna take us 24 hours to put it all out there. All the
Mhm.
laws have been broken. It'll be out there 20. It's gonna be a long time. Like,
Even, oh man, even with the UN voting that slavery, it was one of the greatest atrocities in human history, and the United States and
mhm.
Israel and Argentina voted against it, and about, I think it was 13 or so, 14 European countries didn't vote at all. So I'm just like, usual suspects. But I feel like,
Uh,
and this might be controversial,
the,
for educational purposes only, but the
uh-huh.
reason why they won't admit slavery was a problem, and reparations in America, is because slavery still exists. And
That the biggest thing is money, because the whole thing is, once you can identify it was a major problem, and any country that wants to identify it was really bad and this, that, and the third, guess what? That's what those lawsuits could come along now. You know why? Because now the
yeah,
argument gonna be like, you officially acknowledge that it was an atrocity that happened by that government. So now what you gonna do about it?
I'll go a step
It's
further.
money.
I'm gonna go a step further in it. It's not even just about the money, it's
Mhm.
also about the amount of information that's gonna come out with it. Because once we're starting to talk reparations now we can start talking about classifications. We can start talking about who the natives are, who were
Mhm.
the people before the Great Reset. What was going on. It opens up a chain reaction of events that would cripple the system that has been created to today.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because when people have more money, they have more ability to get to more information. And
Mhm.
not saying that everybody's going to do the right thing with reparations whenever it happens, but you are going to have enough people that will do the right thing, that will expose this information out for
God
everybody to see.
God rest Dick Gregory, because he was big on information. He spent millions of dollars on information, because that's all he wanted to do, is get information on a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
So if you sit there and go and look at some Dick Gregory videos, he breaks down a
I love
lot of stuff.
He like,
And you know, there's another person you want to
yes,
look at too, Claude Anderson, Dr. Claude Anderson. Look at his videos too. Very informative. He breaks everything down too, on a
yeah,
big scale. And
yeah.
when you find out who Claude Anderson, for people who don't know, you'll be like, oh, okay, because they
Claude,
break it down. And he's a elder. They both elders. But Dick Gregory, rest his soul,
these
he's
are people
passed.
that did not have social media, so they had more than enough time and energy to go into books.
Hmm.
One thing is for sure, and it's sad to say, that if you want to hide the truth, you put it in books. And then not just put it in books, but then the real good books that you really need, that got the good information, you got to go to the Library of Congress and actually get them. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you got to go to the next step. You got to go past your local library and go into the
Mhm.
bigger libraries, and find those things. But
Facts though.
yeah, I mean, it's real, because this is very valuable information that they don't want
Hmm.
everybody to have. And why, there has to be a reason why they don't want everybody to have the information. So
Hmm.
that's what
That's true.
Awareness Academy is here for, because we want to share with y'all the things that we've invested into learning
Hmm.
over the years, so that you don't have to spend as much time. But more importantly, we just want to be part of the change that we want to see in the world. And as usual, we can keep going, but we're going to have to come to an
Got
end.
to go.
Hope everybody enjoyed today's episode. Please like, share, comment. Let us know what you think. If you have any questions, please shoot it to us and we'll talk about it on here. In the meantime, between time, I'm your girl, Wendy Zizzo, here with Kirk the Jerk. Peace, Nappy Red. We're going to see you next time. And yeah, peace and blessings, everybody. We out here.